All right, next up for training is the Surfer SEO Max sheet that we have, or the Surfer BB Max. And so Surfer is really similar to Neuron Writer. I started personally using Surfer originally with Jasper back in 2021 and saw some pretty good success with the combination of AI and Surfer. So that's really what plunged me forward into using AI back starting in early 2021. So, yeah, it's really similar to Neuron Writer in that you get a content editor or document that's got a scoring guide. And inside of the content editor, you're going to have a list of terms and keywords and a scoring guide here on the right. And they've got other tools as well. So I do really like their platform. The only thing I have, or that I wish, the only thing I wish is that they built out their API more. Like right now, we are only able to send keywords to them, and that's sort of it. So to get the terms in the sheet, you manually need to cut and paste, but it's a high quality product, and I really like using them. So it's worth knowing that we can automate and get good scores with AahSheet. Typically, they're charging $19 an article, and a lot of our AI output, we're seeing for like 3 to 5 cents a piece. So big difference in pricing, and we can still get really good scores in Surfer with AahSheet. So let me show you how it all works. So I'm going to log into my Surfer account, and we'll start doing some testing. I have a grandfathered account. This thing has been around for a while now, so I get a lot of extra content editors in my account. So anyways, I'm going to go through and we'll see what we can get here. And let's see, content editor. I'm going to go through and I'll do a manual one to start. And we have some in here already that we could use, but I'm going to go through and create a new one. So we'll do rally car. And let's do that one. And then create. I think that'll be okay. And I'll go ahead and create this. And let's come back over to the AahSheet and we'll launch the Surfer sheet, and then we'll start taking a closer look at how to use the Surfer BB Max sheet. Okay, so theirs is how they have the API in this sheet's a little bit different than the Neuron Writer, and we'll go through that here. So let's see, create. So column A, you actually are not going to put your keywords. We're simply going to add the word true here to start firing things off. Really, the only thing that we need to put here is the country. And so for us, we're going to use USA. And for this, we are going to plug in our keyword, and then we're going to have our terms. So that's really, it's much simpler than Neuron Writer right now. I may end up redesigning this to be similar to the Neuron sheet, where you can populate your keywords over on the left. But how we've approached this is a little bit different, and this is one of the earlier versions of me building a sheet and working with this tool. So, anyways, here is the keyword rally car, and then over here on the right you can see all their terms, and they did add this copy all button I want to say maybe 3 to 4 months ago, which is really nice. I think a lot of people have been asking for it. So if I click copy all and I come back over and I double click here and paste, you're going to see this list here of terms, and then if I hit enter, it should be updated into a comma separated list. So check that out. You now have a comma separated list with all of your terms. And if I come here and look, yep, that does include them all. So we have NLP as well, and then we have all. So NLP is about the same, and then headings here. So yeah, this all looks good to me. I don't think there's anything else we need to bring on over. And so we don't need the API for this example. This is, I just added this into Surfer, this keyword rally car, and these are my common terms. And from there, we're just going to start building the article. Let's see here. And so really, there's not much to do on the left-hand side at this point because we're not using the API. If we were, we would end up using this space over here. So really, we're straight on to step 2 is how we're working. For us, we're going to leave the language blank for English. I'm going to leave the task tag set to true so we get some automated tags for the header output. And then from here, we'll just start building. So I'm going to open up step 2, and then we have titles and headers here, and we're just going to start building. So I'm going to go ahead and kick that off. And it shouldn't take long because we really only have one row. And there we go. So we have, I believe, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 headers here. And they all have task tags. So we could come through and edit these just like we discussed in BB Max training. You can come through and edit all of this. You can even add a task tag here in the beginning. And you don't have to always add to F2. You can always manually type out your task tag, mention the company Dirtfish that teaches rally racing. All right. And that's it. So at this point, we are good to go. Let's say you reviewed everything and, you're okay with everything that's listed here. At this point, we would move into the article writing phase. And really, this is the same as BB Max. So really, there's nothing else to show you here. If you have gone through the BB Max training, you're basically going to build articles and start this process. So step 3, 4, 5, and 6 are all the same as BB Max. The only difference was how you worked with Surfer and populated things. So what I'll do is I'll go ahead and build this article, and then we'll check it out. And I'll show you how to bring it into Surfer and work on it that way. So what I'm going to do is kick off step 3, and I'll get this running. And what I'll do is I'll pause this, let this run, because this is going to, it's got 9 headers it's got to chew through. And we'll come back and we'll take a look at the score, and we'll take a look at how to import the HTML article into Surfer. And then we'll take a look at the API and just the difference between using the API and not using the API. All right. Right now, the sheet is finishing up. We've got creating meta, and we'll have column J and K done here in a second, and then I'll show you the score that we got. So funny enough, Surfer doesn't have a way to import HTML, which is kind of a bummer. Neuron Writer does have that. I'm kind of sad they don't. So they make it a little bit harder on us. So what I have to do, or what we have to do to check the score and do this, is we could just paste the HTML straight in the page and get a score. You can see we get a 61. The problem is we're not picking up the headers and whatnot. So the best way to accomplish this is to add to create an HTML page on our computer. So what I would do is open up Notepad or Notepad++, and what you'll do is you'll copy and paste, cell I5 into Notepad. And then once you do that, just save it as a .html file. So I would go with like text or, test HTML, and you can just put that right on your desktop. And from there, you can save it, and that will help you copy and paste it over. So once you save it, you can then open it up in a browser. So check this out. Yeah, so right now I've got it opened up in a browser, and from here I would just simply Control A, copy the whole thing, and then you'll see here I'll paste it into Surfer, and this is so there you go. So now we have the formatting correct. You've got an H1, and then you have all your H2s, and everything's here. It's a little bit easier for the tool to review everything. So out of the gate, we've got an 85. If we add an image, like if I just add any image, if I even take a snapshot of this screen and add the image and a keyword, you can see here, if I just do this, and then I paste in an image, and then, add an image. Let's just add this rally car. There we go, added a rally car. And sometimes you can add in an image and it will bump up the score a little bit, but we already have a pretty high score without this. So it is nice you can add in nice cars here. I don't know what app that was. Pixabay, nice. Okay. But yeah, score of 85, the top is 80, the average is 59. We have a really good score coming out of AahSheet. I mean, you can't get any more of an optimized score than this. I would be really careful about, maybe going over on some things. Now, Rally Car was 1 out of 5 to 12, so it could be maybe this needs to be added just a few more times to get in the green, and I think that might help just a hair. So you could go through and do that, but I think with a score of 85, that's worth testing. I personally, anything between 69 and 75, I think is a really good score. I don't recommend going, say, 90 to 100, but I think out of the box, seeing an 85 is really nice. So at this point, I think this article is good to go. You could go through and edit as you'd like, but I think this is not too shabby. So that is with the manual process. If we went through and used the API, we'll have to go through and kind of do that just a little bit differently. All you're going to do, though, is you're going to add your main keyword here to column E. That will go through and we'll use the API to just automatically send that over. The idea is that you could do a bulk amount. Like if you had 20 to 50 keywords, we could flag them all here as true and then send everything over. But I'm going to share doing a couple with you, a couple keywords. So we'll add our keywords here, and we'll kind of go into the next steps of how to use the API. So let me grab my API key and get that in the sheet, and then we'll start testing, and I'll show you how to use the API key. So give me 1 second. I'll be right back. Okay, I went ahead and tested one just to confirm my API was working before I demoed it for you. Very easy to do. So you just add your keyword into column E. And so I've already sent over rally car racing. So I'm going to do history of rally racing. So really simple. All you have to do is say what country it's for, USA. And then over here on the left, we mark true. So, if you had, 10, 20, 30 keywords and you need to send them over to be processed, you would simply just come through and mark every row that you want to go across as true. This gives you a little bit better control, like if you're wanting to work through one at a time or in smaller batches, was the idea. So anyways, add true, and very simple. You come over to step 1 as you're inside step 1, trying to grab these keywords, and we click on Create Surfer Content Editor. So if I click this, it's going to look for the row with true and then send that across. You end up getting a URL immediately. but you do need to wait. It's going to take time for their system to process the keywords so that we can go through and get the terms. If you notice that there's a content editor that doesn't return any data, it's rare, but it can happen. Just reach out to their team to let them know, hey, like this content editor didn't work. You know, they that way they can give you a token back. All right. So let's see here. And we got them back. So let me come over to Surfer. We'll refresh. And we'll take a look at what's been loaded here in the account. And so you can see over on the right, they've got my keywords being loaded. So it looks like rally car racing is probably done, and the history of rally racing now fits. So both of these are available. So if we come back to the sheet and we actually use the links, it'll bring us straight into the content editor. And the thing we want to do is we want this list of keywords on the right. So we're going to copy all, come back here, double click, paste, enter. Same thing here. We're going to click the link, open this up, scroll down, copy all, double click, paste, enter. And so this is going to give us our comma separated list. Now, wasn't a big deal, right? You know, I could click over pretty quickly. If I had 20, 30 of these, it's not that bad that you don't have the API. It just adds more clicks and time. But from here, we would just go through and run the writing process. We'd run step 2. We'd do our titles and headers like we did for the first row, and we would go through and complete building the articles. So, really, that's it. There's not much more to the Surfer integration. It's pretty simple, really, to run the tooling. So, give this a shot. If you have Surfer, I think it's a great way to leverage with and without the API. If you have any questions, certainly let me know. I'm happy to help you through in case I missed anything, but it's fairly simple to use, but super powerful. You get really high scores pretty quickly. So hopefully you enjoy this overview. And if you have any questions, reach out to me.